We're here doing our third video to introduction of literature, just some of the things that I've learned inside my class with Professor Hinojosa, and not only things that I've learned, some different ideas and perceptions of the way that you can view it, actually what goes on. As you walk into a church, you think of the liturgy, and I know when I first started thinking of liturgy, it's about the placements of everything and how everything operates, what the priests are doing, what the deacons are doing, what the religious are doing. Those are the ones that I felt that was truly built into the liturgy. But because of this class, I've been able to learn that it's a lot more than that. It's a lot more than just what we focus on and what we feel is in the importance. And that's just the introduction of the liturgy, right? Those are the things that we've known growing up and that we may have witnessed that we felt like, hey, that's where it's at. One of the cool things that I learned in this class, and it's something I never thought about, is how important this room is. In your last video, you may remember how we talked about this little room here that was initially a chapel. As you can still see the sign still up there. It says Divine Mercy Chapel. So this room was initially a chapel, and it was used during the week. So again, being in a modern church, you don't have to turn on an AC for the large church. You can just utilize a small version. And so there is a modern reason why it was there and what it was created for. After that, we're able to build a larger day chapel across the street to actually accommodate the parishioners, and not only accommodate the parishioners that are coming to daily mass, but actually truly pay respect and homage to a church that we had there for over 100 years that we had to knock down, but we were blessed to build that chapel to pay remembrance to all the parishioners before and the parishioners going forward. And now we're lucky to have weddings and baptisms and quinceañeras and all kinds of good stuff in there. But I want to talk a little bit more about this room and how it plays a big effect into the liturgy. You know, I'm very lucky that I have a wife and kids. Well, my kids weren't always big, and my kids weren't able to be quiet and sit here in the pew, but I knew how important it was for my family to be here. And I didn't realize at that time, as a father, and then being with my wife as a mother, that us being here with our children played a part in the liturgy. Because of this room, when my kids were little, and maybe I didn't realize at the time, and sometimes, you know what, maybe we're ashamed that our kids are making too much noise and they should be paying reverence and paying attention to what the priest is saying and what the priest is doing. I didn't realize that just them being here with me and my wife and the other parishioners, being here, being able to be a part of Mass, plays a part in the liturgy. That because of the formation that we start with children at a young age, that's our part at that moment in time, that we are blessed to be a small domestic church that came to be a part of the church that Jesus created. So next time you feel bad and you have some young kids, or you reflect and remember, like, man, I remember when my 2-year-old was running around and they wanted crackers and they weren't paying attention. To reflect and remember at that time, that's what Jesus and God called you to do. We're all called to be a part of the liturgy, and we don't realize that. But as I've come to learn, that each person in the pew, each child in the pew, plays a part in the big picture of the liturgy. So as I used to see this room as somewhere where you needed to take your kid because he was making too much noise and misbehaving, I've come to have a different acceptance and a different appreciation for this room. The fact of knowing that parents are finding a way to truly still keep Christ in their life, to teach Christ to their children, and that at each moment that they're here, for that time, that each sacrifices that they're making has something to do in the bigger picture of our liturgy.